So you remember when there's the Fukushima, there was a big tsunami, and of course it wiped out their nuclear power plant, which was right on the coast, right? And so they have all this nuclear waste water now that they've been storing, and they don't know what to do with it. You know what they're doing with it now? They're just putting it in the ocean. That's their plan. Their plan to get rid of nuclear radioactive water is to just put it in the ocean. And so now China doesn't want to take their fish. And so now they got to do stuff like this. Japan announces emergency relief measures for seafood exporters. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida announced on Monday a $141 million emergency fund to help exporters hit by a ban on Japanese seafood imposed by China in response to the release of radioactive wastewater from the damaged Fukushima. The discharge of the wastewater into the ocean began August 24th and is expected to continue for decades.
Only decades.
What? Japanese fishing associations and groups in neighboring countries have strongly opposed the release, and China immediately banned all imports of Japanese seafood. Hong Kong has banned Japanese seafood from Fukushima and 9 other prefectures. Kishida said the emergency fund is in addition to 80 billion yen, which is $547 million, that the government previously allocated to support fisheries and seafood processing and to combat damage to the reputation of Japanese products, not the damage of radioactivity to the actual products, but they just want to combat the damage of the reputation.
Such a dishonor.
That is unbelievable. They should take a cue from America. Americans love radiation, whether baking in a Nevada sun or sitting too close to the TV, irradiating our groceries, getting scanned at the airport, living under power lines. We're mutated into rad-reliant species, baby. Let that ozone go. Bring it on. We're ready. Where's my man tan lotion? I mean, person tan lotion. Don't want to get demonized. So we will protect the Japanese fisheries industry at all costs. He said, asking people to help out by serving more seafood at dinner tables and other ways. They're asking Japanese people to serve more seafood. Mm-hmm. The money will be used to find new markets. They're not going to use the money to try to figure out what to do with this wastewater. God. They're not going to build a storage facility or nothing. They're just putting it in the ocean. How would that be? How is that any different than just pouring into a hole in the ground? The money will be used to find new markets for Japanese seafood to replace China and fund government purchases of seafood for temporary freezing and storage. The government will also seek to expand domestic seafood consumption. Now, he heads an Indonesia. He's going to Indonesia on Tuesday to attend the annual summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, where he may face criticism. Look at this. He may face criticism over the wastewater release from Chinese Premier Li Qiang, who is also attending. Shouldn't those guys be thrown in jail for doing that? Isn't this a crime against humanity? The ocean is everyone's ocean, and they're polluting it on purpose with radioactive water that they don't know what to do with. Large amounts of radioactive wastewater have accumulated at the Fukushima plant since the massive blah, blah, blah. All seawater and fish samples taken since the release of the treated wastewater began have been way below set safety limits for radioactivity. Can I tell you something? There is no safe level of radioactivity in fish. There is no such thing as a safe level. So they came up with some level that's safe, and they go, "Oh, it's in that range." There's no such thing as a safe range of nuclear radiation poisoning to fish. There is no such thing.
Like a safe amount of cancer, or
yes,
a safe amount of a house fire.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have a safe amount of Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
Why are the Simpsons like they're right again? I was waiting for a picture of a three-eyed fish to come up in this article.
What did the Simpsons say they would do this?
Yes, it was this whole thing where they went and got they went to this restaurant. There was a three-eyed fish, and they're like, "Oh no!" They were trying to normalize it. They're like, "Oh, it's special." Like it's been years since I've seen the episode, but I'll never forget like the eyes just like blinked in a row. It's like I love the Simpsons.
But now you have to cross going to eat sushi at Japan off your bucket list. Now you don't want to do it.
And it's funny, they're like,
That
we're
really
not going to
sucks.
apologize or throw anyone in jail or hold anyone accountable. We're just going to look for new markets, which third world countries, I imagine, that have lower standards or have less,
Yeah. Poor people.
So when I go to sushi places, which I do, they always like to brag about, we have right from Japan, this fish, right from Japan. I'm never eating that stuff again. But it's probably the joke's on me because radioactive water, it goes everywhere. It's not just staying in Japan.
Yeah.
It's going to go all over the world, and it's going to infect. I can't believe they're allowing Japan to do this. And the only reason I can think of that they're allowing Japan to do this is because of some deal that the NATO has with Japan being against China and Russia militarily and economic sanctions and all that stuff. And then, hey, we'll let you go ahead and do that to the fish. I can't think of how in the world is the international community allowing this to happen?
Yeah.
And how do they not take all this radioactive water and put it somewhere else?
Turn it into energy drinks. Sell it to college students.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that China's at least pushing back the same way that Mexico pushed back against our GMO corn. And
yes.
So I think you're going to see some more stories like this, bringing this information to light is what's really important. And at the end of the day, I'm sure we're going to see countries like China and Russia probably get together and go, hey, man, if they're not going to clean this up, we're going to have to clean it up. And then hopefully they make a spectacle out of it.
It's too late to clean up. They're putting it in the water. They're just putting it for decades.
Oof.
Yeah.
They're going to just keep. So if you can store this stuff for decades, why not just continue to store it? Why do you gotta? Because they're going to store most of it for decades as they release it slowly into the ocean. Why wouldn't you just keep storing it and figure out a better way to store it? You can't spend a couple of $1 billion or $100 billion to create big lead vats that you can pour this water into 100 feet below surface and it's all lead. And I don't know. I'm a pothead comedian. I can think of better ways than what they're doing.
They probably wanted to build on the land or throw up apartment buildings or something.
Yeah.
They're like, we're wasting all this space.
That's
I
right.
mean, do we really have to keep the water? Like,
have
a
Elon Musk
lot.
shoot it into space and just get rid of it.
Right?
Or something
Can't they
like
shoot it
that.
into
Like,
space?
just collect it and
keep the lid off, let it evaporate. I'm not a scientist.
And then it just rains down on everybody a little bit.
And then it's everyone's problem.
It's the fact that the human race has lasted this long is kind of a shocker. And it doesn't look like we're going to make it to the 22nd century. It does not. I predict human beings do not make it to the 22nd century.
Yeah, look at that. It's like they're clearly taking out cattle, they're taking out meat, and this shows they're trying to take out fish. I feel like in general, like just protein in general is being taken out.
I
for
can't
bugs
believe the
and-
sushi industry is allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna crush the sushi industry. I don't know but I guarantee you they're going to pick up radioactive water if they want to off the west coast of the United States. No problem. They did it when it first happened. They did. So
Jeez.
I'm sure that it's going to contaminate everything. And maybe I will stop eating sushi. Maybe I'll stop eating fish.
CRISPR fish is coming. You know, that the bioengineered CRISPR beef and stuff. And
really?
that CRISPR fish is going to be coming soon. Maybe that's why they are letting this stuff go down, so they can genetically modify and create fake fish in a lab, and then you have to eat that. Who knows?
And then no, we put a new mRNA radioactive vaccine. So you don't have to worry about the radiation. We have a new mRNA vaccine that we put right into the fish feed.
The whales have all been vaccinated.
All the whales have been vaccinated. All the tuna have been vaccinated. And with mRNA, they're vaccinated. They are using mRNA
on cattle
and stuff, which is nuts. And then they don't have to tell you about it. So they do want us to eat bugs.
I'm hoping at least there's some cattle that have like a "Don't tread on me" flag that are like, "I'm unvaccinated. You can't get me," and they run away.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a sponsor, and I actually love this sponsor because I use their product, and it's fantastic. It's a home purifier. It's called EnviroCleanse, and I'm using it at my house. It's It's not cheap, but unbelievably does it work. Since I moved into my bedroom, has had this damp, musty smell, and I was sure there's mold in there somewhere. I had a mold expert come out, and he said he didn't find any, and it still always smells like damp in there, and it was a bummer for me. So we put this EnviroCleanse. They say, because here's what it says. It says that EnviroCleanse destroys the cold and flu viruses. It destroys COVID, allergy-inflaming toxins, and mold, and even more. So we go out of town. Misha puts that thing in my bedroom, which was very nice. And when I come back from doing a couple of road dates, I walk in my room and I'm like, hey, where's that damp, moldy smell that's been in my bedroom for the last 2 years? It's gone. It is gone. So I wholeheartedly can tell you that this product super worked for me. It is hospital grade technology. It's used on Navy ships. Did you know that? It's in thousands of classrooms. The EnviroCleanse promise is that you're going to get far fewer colds and allergies and better sleep. It's got a free air quality monitor too that they'll give you. Test the difference in your own home. So now this is what you do if you want to get if you need this and you want to get a discount, this is what you do. You visit ekpure.com and use the code Jimmy, and you'll get 10% off your EnviroCleanse home air purifying unit, and you're going to get a free air quality monitor plus fast free shipping. That's $150 savings. That's go to ekpure.com and use the code Jimmy, ekpure.com, and use the code Jimmy, and I can endorse this 100%. This feels good. I want people to get this because if you need this, it will work. Hey, so come see us live on tour. We're going to be in Detroit, that's Rochester, Michigan, Tampa, Boca Raton, Orlando, Dallas, Houston, San Diego, Bloomington, Illinois, where I went to college, Indianapolis, Levittown, New York, and Red Bank, New Jersey. Go to jimmydore.com for a list of all those shows.